Hey, and welcome to day 12 of the Long-Tail Bootcamp. So today we're just going to be looking at how you can drive traffic to your website without having to rely purely on Google. And this is really important for a couple of different reasons. So firstly, because rankings are pretty volatile, and there's going to be a decent chance that you're going to drop down the rankings at some point and lose all the traffic that you're relying on. So secondly, also potential website buyers, should you choose to sell your website in the future, like to see that there's going to be a diversification of traffic sources because it just reduces the risk of the website, as we talked about in the first step. So most internet marketers do actually choose to rely on Google, but some of the more old school marketers will remember the times before search engines even existed. And in those days, you had to drive traffic using other methods and try and really, there was more imagination to it. So one example of a great way to drive traffic currently is through Reddit. And I know semi-personally a couple of people who are making hundreds of thousands of dollars each month with their websites relying almost purely on Reddit traffic. So if we come through to Reddit right now, we can see here, let's just have a look at some of the top results. So for example, here we go. So this is it's a website, deadline.com, and if we click on the link here, deadline.com, you can see all the different Reddit submissions which go to this domain. So you can see that mainly they're about TV, movies, a lot of trailers, and Hollywood news. So this post has 6,289 upvotes, and you can pretty much guarantee that if this was not a large site, that the site would crash because they're like fourth in Reddit right now. They're going to be getting a ridiculous amount of traffic. So if we scroll down here, all this page is just about a new movie which is being released, and it's just some news about it and about the different actors which are going to be in the movie. So one thing which you could do, for example, say you were in the movies and popular culture niche, is you could create a story like this about a popular topic and then share it on Reddit. And one of the most important things when it comes to Reddit is going to be your title. So there's pretty much nothing else to go upon when people upvote things. And a lot of people upvote without even bothering to read or even click through to the link. So if you can nail the title, like, you drastically improve your chances of having success. So for example, here today, we can see some of these titles on the front page. Let's just have a little look. And generally, Redditors like figures. So if there's any figures which you can put into the title, for example, this person's submitted a Business Insider article on the Netflix price increase, and they've increased to $9.99 a month, and they've said that it's going to apply to 17 million grandfathered customers next month. So they didn't have to put that in the title. Most people probably would have said Netflix increases its price to $9.99, and it also affects all grandfathered previous customers. So once you've come up with an article, you've created it on your site, and then you've come up with a subreddit you want to choose to try and drive traffic from. So say you'll have a gaming website, right? And you create an article on a new game which has come out, and you think it'd be perfect for the people of /gaming. So you're going to come here. What you might want to do is do a bit of analysis of the top titles, see what generally performs well. Seems to be, just having a little look now, they all seem humor-based. So you might want to create the article with a spin, keep it funny, keep it quite light-hearted rather than having serious gaming news probably. At least that's what it seems like from just a quick glance here. So then the next step is you might want to come to this site which is called redditlater.com, and then come to analysis and find the best time. And what you can do now is just put in the subreddit which you're trying to draw traffic from. So in this case, /r/gaming, and we're going to say how many votes we'd like to get. So in this case, for us to hit really the top 5 is where you want to be. The minimum one here is 794. upvotes. So we're going to say maybe we'll want to get at least 800 upvotes. So then we're going to analyze the subreddit traffic. So it's analyzed the last 455 posts, and it says, looks like you want to post on a Sunday at 10 in the morning. So that seems to be the best time for this specific subreddit. So you can see here, there's a top posts by day, and it says 77.5 top posts have been on Sundays. So the next one down is 67.5. So there's a pretty big difference. You can see Tuesdays clearly do not perform well. And probably the reason for this is it's r/gaming. Most people who play video games are probably playing the majority on the weekend. They're probably most interested in their video games on the weekend. Most people work in the week. So this would not be a good Reddit to submit in the week. Clearly Sunday outperforms pretty much everything else. And then again, come down to the bottom here, we have it split into the hours of the day for the top performing day. So we can see here, again, 10 a.m. in the morning is pretty standout. It performs a lot better than any other time of the day. And again, the reason for this might be that gamers probably wake up around that time of the day, especially on a Sunday, and the first thing people do often is check their favorite subreddits. You can see again later on in the evening, doesn't perform well. And again, probably want to put yourself in the minds of the people who use this Reddit. Gamers probably are playing video games at night. They're probably not looking at Reddit. So your optimum time is going to be a Sunday at 10 a.m. in the morning for this example. So another option for driving traffic is going to be through social media. And this is something which pretty much all of us should be doing, but I'd say the large majority of niche site owners do very little, if any, social media actions pretty much. So most people will just end up setting up social media profiles for the sake of it when they first register websites, but they're not actively trying to gain followers or likes, and they're not driving traffic from their social media as well as they can do back through to their website. So I'm on Pinterest now, and Pinterest is a really great way to drive traffic, more so than other social medias currently. And the reason for this is they sort of have not had the same problems with spammers, not yet anyway. So they're not cracking down on it so hard. So Facebook has pretty much cracked down on it to the point where you're getting like less than probably 1% or 2% of your audience is going to see any post you make. The same is not true on Pinterest, and as far as I'm aware, the same is not true on Twitter either. So obviously Pinterest has a majority female audience, but it's not as bad as people think. It's roughly 75% female, so it's still 25% male. So you can still do well with maybe more male-dominant niches, but it's generally you're going to perform best if you're doing things, if you're in maybe the gardening niche or cooking, anything DIY, and holidays as well. I've seen companies who are travel agents and things like that do extremely well on Pinterest because it's very image orientated. People like to see beautiful things, they like to see nice images, and certain niches lend themselves to that particularly well. So if you're in a niche like that does lend itself particularly well to photography or visual images, then I would highly recommend getting on Pinterest ASAP and setting up a profile, because it is very easy compared to other social medias to gain a large following. And then you can create posts like this, for example, best 44 shrubs for containers. If we click on that, let's see where it drives us through, balconygardenweb.com. Well, that sort of sounds like a niche site to me. So, and you can clearly see they're using advertisements here. So this is someone who's really got the idea of social media down to a T. They've got 2.1 million Pinterest followers, and you can see in comparison, Facebook and Twitter are only 14,000, which is just a lot less. And that's just, again, because certain niches are going to perform a lot better on certain social medias. So see where your audience goes and go wherever they are and try and draw traffic from there. So another way which you can drive traffic to your site is something which has kind of had a lot of bashing in the last couple of years, which is blog comments. So the problem with blog comments are that people generally just use it for the SEO benefit of link building, but they can actually drive more traffic than you'd expect, especially in certain niches where people actually actively read the comments. So for example, one niche which this would perform particularly well in is probably the cooking niche, because there's a lot of blogs, and it's a relatively friendly niche. People actually talk in the comments and get to know each other. This is definitely not the same, for example, in maybe the gardening niche is not going to be the same. There's not the same level of camaraderie. People don't take it as seriously as they take cooking. So for example, if we came onto this site, we could just click any random article. Spicy shrimp tacos with garlic, cilantro, lime slaw. That sounds pretty good. So we scroll down. Yeah, there's a comment sections here. So there's been 168 comments on this article already. So what you could do here is you could leave a comment and get involved with any conversations which are going on. You clearly have here a website section, so you could fill in your website, and after a while you'll find that people actually begin to read your comments and you become relatively well known. And this is the same with forums. So for example, if we have a forum, we might search for, say, that's cooking forums. Let's see what we have here. Discusscooking.com. Yep, that sounds fine. So we'll come in here and you can see this person's made a post this month and it's already got 19 replies. So if we come into here, they're asking about hatching chilies. I did not even know that was a thing, but apparently it is. So second comment already is someone's put a link in there. So what you could do is there's two different options. You could be the person who creates the original thread, and the one thing I like to do is ask if people have read this article or what they think about it. So if your article was on, let's say, it was on headphone reviews, you might say, oh, has anyone seen this article? What do you think of the headphones which are in this review? And at that point, people are going to click through the link just to be able to give you their opinion and help you out. And as long as you can kind of phrase it as if you're genuinely looking for help, you're pretty much going to get a bunch of traffic relatively easily, very quickly as well, and it converts better than you'd expect, especially with programs like Amazon's affiliate program. And the reason is people might not necessarily purchase the product from the link that they click through from, but the cookie stays for like 30 days. And because people use Amazon so regularly, there's a good chance that they're going to purchase something within the next 30 days, and at which point you'll get a commission. So I've done the same thing in Facebook groups, entered Facebook groups, specifically like guitar groups, and asked if this was a good guitar, and I literally straight up included an affiliate link. I didn't even bother including it back to my own site, and I earned like $40 in like less than a day. So it just shows you that people actually do click through, especially in niches where people want to help each other out, like this. And the second option is you could be the people which be like the second or third commenters or whatever. So what you can do in that case would you could search for a problem which someone has. So say your page is on the best headphone reviews, you could search Google for people who are asking what are the best headphones, or where can I buy headphones the cheapest. And then if you have an article on that, you can post that and it's genuinely helpful to them, and there's a good chance that they're going to click through and then possibly purchase later. So thanks for listening, and it's a bit of a long video, but hopefully it should just start to get your mind going, and so you can think of different ways which you could drive traffic. Really, the more imaginative you can be, the better. For example, I've seen a lot of people watermarking their images with their just with their site URL, and then going out to a bunch of bloggers and actively encouraging them to use the images as long as they keep the watermark. And at that point, you're having people spread your message for you. So these are the kind of imaginative things which can sort of take you out of your competition. So thanks for listening and have a good day.